maximum game.
In many ways, Midnight is about bringing people together, and magic is all around you. It's about learning empathy for people who aren't like you. It's finding hidden strengths.
It's off the screen.
There's so much. The landscapes, they're almost like a character in and of itself.
Discovers the world is more than what she has known it to be.
All of these monsters and large creatures where she can communicate with them, heal them, learn from them. Why through the world doing all of these things is just a lot of fun.
From the various regions of the South. And if not a folk tale, it's taken from an urban legend that's well on its way to becoming a folk tale. Something's out there.
The creatures are all inspired by real folk tales. However, there's not a lot of visual information on interpret them. For me, getting the tone, mood, and making sure they had this sort of dark elegance to them was really important.
So while you'll see haints everywhere, every region has a distinctive creature, and they rule entirely. So how did a creature become a monster?
The sort of variety of creatures that we have in South of Midnight is really cool. The creatures and just sort of like human errors and challenges and the ways that we hurt each other sort of manifest as creatures as well. There's some sort of whispered rumors about creatures that you shouldn't cross, that Hazel has to.
Each creature faces things that she has run away from. Others will simply create a huge sense of fear in her and summon her to dig deeper and to believe in herself.
Now, ultimately, driven by trauma, they want to feed on guilt and fear, and these creatures she has to destroy. But the creatures with human souls, she wants to help. Magical realism is part of the vision for South of Midnight. Magic is real. Monsters are real. The unexpected can happen at any time. But the farther you go from the town center, the magical forum, Hazel, your character, I think she likes it too.
Into this sort of folkloric version of the Deep South. We have the swamps, we have the Delta, we have the Appalachians, and we have an area that's inspired by New Orleans to make worlds that people might be familiar and twist them and sort of celebrate them. And I feel like we don't give players enough credit for wanting to see new worlds.
So as we help them, so that mood is then going to expand out into the environment. So we have a central theme. How can we reflect that in the environment? Is it going to be dark and gloomy? Is it scary? If so, it's going to affect the time of day. If it's something a bit more cheery, we can have that happening in the morning. And I would encourage people who are playing the game or watching gameplay to just look around and see what type of vegetation is there, what's on the ground, what materials, are you walking over. Just look at the animals. Like, there's so many little details to make you feel like you're in the Deep South.
I wanted to try and ground the...
To be. And then with her attitude, I just got to make sure I am in a spunky, ready pace. She has sassiness, she has a modernness to her, but she's also respectful of her elders. She's also very empathetic. She's very driven, competitive.
This story centers around a young Black girl, so I couldn't help her full. And I think that it just sort of leaps off the screen. And the way that she speaks and carries herself, the way that she allows herself to be vulnerable and scared and confused and unprepared, I think is story in her story.
Shaking bones.
The handcrafted style is applied into everything. There's something soulful about it.
Boo, what?
Yeah, I saw you jumping.
We had to figure out a style where things are exaggerated. There's little thumbprints and imperfections, and everything kind of has this sort of twisted feeling to it.
I could help bottle up the pain.
So I'm the last person left here.
So the animation style is just stop motion. So in the world who have gone through things, they have experiences. Everyone's got something that's made them a little rough. And, you know, while she has the power to weave and heal.
Hazel is coming into her power. She's a young woman who, through this adventure, finds the true nature in herself as a leader. She finds her magical powers.
She's awakening to a world of possibilities she did not know existed. She's inseparable from her weaver abilities. All of them are calculated to make you more aware or continuously aware of how the weaver sees the world and how she can pull from the world to traverse in extreme ways that normal humans simply can't do. The most important metaphor about your abilities as a player, it's like a cancer.
So the ability to weave is you can take these dark energy and release it from each other, release it so the good can get in, so the good can thrive. And that's what I love about Hazel Flood is
It's inspired by and make it this powerful, beautiful magic. And we wanted it to really feel like this is how she does magic, is by manipulating these tangible strands. And the look of them was very much inspired by lace. Lace is very Southern Gothic. It's this like supernatural, living, sort of sentient material.
You embrace being a weaver, the more of the music of the universe you hear during gameplay. And we wanted the universe to literally talk to the player. And we used children's choir voices.
And so the idea was like, okay, as you go through the level, you will unveil the backstory of each creature. And as you do this, you will as well unveil the song, but not in the way that is the final shape, but rather in an unsettling, sometimes disturbing way. There is this entity that is very evil, and we said, okay, this is completely out of the scope of, let's say, guitars, banjo, all of this. This is like massive, and it can take over, yourself. So we were like, we need something that is completely different and something that is impressive. And that's why we picked up an orchestra for those moments.
The process of us recording with everyone together is fairly rare, in fact, very rare. It puts a little bit more onus on the performance and making sure that the balance, the blend, all those musical details are really finessed.
That was why we thought that was so interesting. Like the orchestral textures which felt out of place in the Deep South. By cleaning those zones of those entities, you removed the out of place, the orchestral textures, and replaced those with voices and with grounded instrumentation and the ambience that returned.
Because
it's more like
he's putting me down. I guess he has me at the waist.
she's like,
Yeah.
she's like this. So she just exaggerate it more.
Let's do one more.
Yes. Good look. Knees up. collapse. Struggle, struggle.
Not yet.
The challenge is really the fact that a character like Hazel in a game like this hasn't really been done before, you know, and it hasn't been done in a way that really brings to light what it is like to be a young Black woman in this time period with these challenges and the complexities that come with that.
I mean, when I think about how many games are set in the South with a strong Black female lead, I don't recall that many. That in itself shows how important this is.
I think it's really cool that a little Black girl could cosplay Hazel with the hair that's growing out of her head. It's nice to see yourself reflected in a piece of media and not in a way that feels stereotypical or inauthentic.
Like Hazel, we can be weavers, we can be fairies, we can be magic users. We can do a lot more than just, I think, what people assign to the South.
We hope that one day you'll be able to play a character like that. But it's really important that Hazel's story is relatable to a lot of different people. Like, I think you don't have to also be like a Black woman to understand and relate to Hazel.
You know, she's battle ready, but then she's also, you know, opening up to her inner child. And then it gets really dangerous at other times. She's kind of doing a little bit of it all. I think it shows how expansive this world is.
Whether these people are humans or they're a giant necrotic alligator, all of these creatures are worth helping.
I'm gonna be sad to leave the world of Midnight. Having family that lives in the Deep South, there's just so much there from a cultural standpoint that just has endless depth and interest. This game has allowed us to really dive into that.
I just want it to be something different. I want people to dive in and be like, I had never played anything like that before, or this was a totally new environment or very weird setting. I think people are going to go into this and walk away seeing a lot of characters and locations they're not familiar with. I think it is unique and different.
Maximum Game.